today's live. Hope you guys are having a great start of the week so far. Just getting ready to go live here on Facebook. We are live on Facebook and now we are live on Instagram. All right, so today's one's not going to be a long one. We have a team meeting at 7 o'clock, which is why we've actually done this live 30 minutes early. And I kind of went through everything that's been going through my mind over the weekend last night anyway. But to recap a few things, we've got a lot that we're working on at the moment. Number one is our lead magnet, which I'm still working through. So I'm going to set about an hour to an hour and a half every single day to work on that, to make sure that I'm able to at least get 7 to 10 hours of movement. And I think 7 to 10 hours is more than enough time to be able to get the majority of the lead magnet done, at least the initial script. And so I actually have to do it in 3 formats. I did a poll, and it's actually interesting that it's an exact 33% split between PDF, video modules, and audiobook. Alex Hormozi also did a poll when he was doing his book on whether people preferred each of the mediums, and it's typically an even split. So if I were to just create one lead magnet in one form, I'm isolating 70%, 75% of the potential market or people that could find value in the content, but it's in a format that's not easily digestible for them. So my plan of attack is right now I'm just putting out the content from the lead magnet into a presentation form. So it's really just raw dot points. I have slides and I have the dot points. And once I do that and I present it, I'll be able to go out and write it up as it were to be a book. And then I would read that book, and then that becomes the audio book. Or if I find that the video units are good enough, I can just utilize that as the audio form. So that's number one. Number two, I want to finish off my performance nutrition course. It should take me like another hour or two, and I'll aim to have that completed on Wednesday, when it's my rest day from training. Wednesdays, rest days, usually days I like to catch up on work, so I'll set a target to get it completed by Wednesday. I also have the video modules for school. I now know which platform we're going to be using for our white labeled app, and I'm going to start to experiment today, figure out how to use it, and then set up the accounts, and then start planning out the video module so people can get started. And then there was something else I wanted to work on as well. I'd eventually have to redo all our systems and automations as well. So right now, we're using our CRM, Go High Level. We're sending automated emails and text messages every week to our clients. We're going to get rid of all that. We just find that what we've learned is when things are automated, people start to ignore it, and it's the lower perceived effort. And because it's automated, they just don't pay attention to it that much. So we're going to get rid of all that. And then we're going to replace it with handwritten postcards that Hang and I are going to be sending out every week. Hang's already bought them last week. I think we bought, I don't know, maybe like 500 or 600, maybe more. And so we're going to be sending out postcards to our clients every single week, recapping their wins. I think that's going to be a very important part for client retention and client experience. Like getting a postcard every week with your coach, writing down the things that, sharing your wins with you. It shows commitment, it shows care, and it's something physical and tangible that reminds them of the progress that they make every single week. I think that's what's going to separate us from everything else. It doesn't take that much time, but I think it really goes a long way. When Hang and I were part of a mentorship 2 years ago, Elite CEOs, you might actually see, we used to have, if it's actually, what is it, like there right now, but we have that, it's like award. And that was awarded by Elite CEOs, which is our mentors. They sent us postcards every week, and their ones were quite generic, but it was still nice to receive something that was handwritten, to know that someone went out of their way to handwrite it and then send it to us. And so we want to implement that the same as well. So I'm going to have to update all those automations. Once I build out the lead magnet, I think we're going to move forward with using Gumroad as the platform to facilitate the distribution of the resource, and then we'll probably use ManyChat and link it up with Instagram. So when I make a post, I make a value post, and then I have a call to action at the end and say, if you guys want free resource, comment this, And then once they comment, it'll automatically send them a message through ManyChat. And that will send them a link to choose between PDF, audiobook, or video module. And once you click on it, it'll take them to Gumroad and they're going to just download it directly from there. Once they download it, I think we're going to redirect them to like a VSL video, just a video that outlines exactly what else we could do. And then they'll download it and then we'll get the email, and that email will be added to a nurture sequence. I think I'm going to have to write up 30 emails and then get a copywriter to review it and provide any feedback. And then we go live with that. So there's a lot of work that we have to do right now. It's pretty much building everything from the ground up again, which is exciting, but it's also very nerve-wracking at the same time, because you just don't know. You don't know if it's going to work. You have to just go out, trial, and figure it out. But I definitely think it's a step in the right direction because it's better than what we're doing right now. And all we have to do to overcome that anxiety is to really just do the work and get that feedback. And really, it comes into today's theme of today's journal that I want to share with you. It's commitment versus capacity. For example, we have a team meeting at 7:00. I could have pushed this back. I could have not done it, but I'm committed to showing up. And commitment is defined by eliminating all options. And when you eliminate the option of not doing it or failure, the only way is forward. And I had a call with a client last week. I hadn't spoken to him in a few months, and he's in a really rare opportunity. He has a really rare opportunity where he's quit his job at the moment, and he was considering he was working a full-time job. He was also studying to be an analyst as well, and then he's recently quit his job. And in the last few months that we've been working together, I've actually been helping him explore different pathways and opportunities, possibly moving to like running an online business, because that's what he wants. He wants to be financially free one day. And because I haven't spoken to him in a few months, he's been working closely with Nam. I caught up with him 2 weeks ago, and he said he's quit his job and he wants to maybe prioritize his uni, doesn't know what he wants to do, and possibly wants to go back to work later down the road. And I told him, like, it's such a rare opportunity that not many people start work a 9-to-5 job and ever get to have this opportunity. Because once you start working a 9-to-5 job, you get a mortgage, you have kids, and then suddenly you remove your ability to pivot, and you can't take those risks anymore because your choices now have greater consequences than when you didn't have any of those commitments. And I helped to understand, and over the next few calls, we started to open up his mind in terms of what his choices really were, and he realized the opportunity that he has. And I asked him, like, he's been feeling burnt out a little bit over the last few months, and he took a step back learning dropshipping. That's why I recommend it. I recommend that if you're gonna one day want to run your business, learn dropshipping. And dropshipping is not necessarily what you're going to be doing as your end game, but it's a great introduction into the world of entrepreneurship. It's very low risk, very low capital. You understand marketing, you understand how to build a brand, you understand product development, you understand customer fulfillment. Like, there's just so much lessons, and it's arbitrary. It doesn't matter what it is. Like, if you were to go to university or college, they would give you these projects and tasks that you do, but that doesn't actually make you any money. But then if you learn dropshipping, you actually could. And I learned a lot about running a business when I was learning about dropshipping like 10 years ago. I never did anything, and I could have. And if I did, I probably would have done well. And again, that's another one of those things where I look back and I learn from my mistakes. But just dabbling into the world of entrepreneurship really opens up your mind in terms of what is possible. So that's why I recommended. And he put that to a side over the Christmas period because he started to feel burnt out and he wanted to prioritize uni. Then I asked him, like, if your dropshipping business was making $10,000 a month, would you still say that you're too burnt out and you want to put that aside? And he said no. Then I said, well, it's not a capacity issue, it's a commitment issue. You're not out of capacity, you just weren't getting the results for what you were getting, so you no longer wanted to be as committed because you had other options. Because he had full-time job, he had his university, or he has his qualification, and then he has on the side learning dropshipping, which makes $0 right now because he hadn't been fully committed to it. Because really, if you were committed to learning, you can actually just create a product today. You can go online, use an AI tool to create a logo, create a name, create a website. It could all be done today. You can start running your first ads today. And everything would start, you'd start getting data. But it's taken him a few months, and that comes down to commitment. It wasn't a capacity thing. It was commitment, because he had finite resources with infinite possibilities, and it's very hard to allocate and distribute your effort and energy towards things that right now are not generating you any income, while there's things that are. It's very hard. And that's why I quit my job 3 years ago. It's why I quit my job after a month, because I just started coaching, and during that time, during the holiday season, there weren't many projects. I knew things would ramp up, and I never wanted to be in a position where I had to choose between my business and work, because work is actually generating me consistent and stable income. It's very easy for me to prioritize that versus something that has very high risk but also high reward. And so I just eliminated one option that allowed me to be fully 100% committed towards one objective. And earlier this week, I also rewatched an old Alex Hormozi video, and it was talking about how when he got done for DUI, crashed into another car, he was running like 6 different businesses, and that's where I learned about the stress and unmade decisions. And the unmade decision that he needed to make was eliminate all options and focus on Gym Launch, which he was eventually able to sell for like $46 million or something. But like someone like him was running multiple businesses and knew that he was spreading himself thin and saturating himself. And he made that decision. The decision that most people would make is eliminating all those options and focusing on one thing. And I think the mistake a lot of people make is they have this main hustle, then they have a side hustle, then they have another thing. And like, yeah, you might be generating some kind of income from your side hustles and stuff. But if you were to focus on one thing, that would do better than the combination of all the little things. And I think most people would really need to just learn how to be committed towards one thing. And if you commit towards one thing, you can succeed more than you actually know. And if the thing that you committed to is like a 9-to-5 job, well, you're obviously very limited in terms of what your growth could be. But if you work for yourself, the earning potential and the possibilities is literally limitless. There is no cap to what you could achieve. Like you could make $100 million business. Like that is a possibility. And it might be like a 0.001% chance, but it's still a possibility. But if you work a 9-to-5 job, that possibility is almost zero. It's just not going to happen. You know, and so it's really about picking and choosing what you want to commit to, because there's always going to have struggles and challenges. But when you find something that really gives you fulfillment, I feel like it becomes worth it to push through. And I think what we're very fortunate was to have tasted what it was like to really succeed and do really well and earn ridiculous numbers. You know, within the first 12 months, we made our first $85,000 a month, which is crazy. It's actually crazy. How old was I? 27 years old, making $85,000 in 1 month. That's more dollars than what most people make in a year, and we made that in a month. Now, of course, that's business revenue, not personal income, but it was still a proof of what we had to offer and the value that we had into the market. And that was just the taste. So over time, how can we not improve from that? And of course, there's going to be ups and downs, just like any graph, any trading chart, any weight chart. There's always going to be variance, but the trend, as long as the trend is moving up, and I feel like we've learned so much, and I'm very blessed to have this opportunity to be running this business, to be an entrepreneur, to constantly learn every single day. You know, and the analogy will be like an iceberg. I think most people are living at the tip of the iceberg, working this 9-to-5 job, and there's this whole world submerged underwater that is 10 times the depth of what you see at the tip. And it's awesome. Every day, learning something new and progressively overloading. So that's it. So that's my intentions for this week. I've got my certification. I want to finish off this week. I want to finish off the lead magnet, at least one form, one medium, and then move on to the next one. Continue to build out the units and explore Everfit, which is our new training white labeled platform. So that's it. I don't want to burn myself out. I think that's realistic and achievable. I just need to set out dedicated blocks each day to make sure I get that done. was covering it last night, that you're going to get more done if you set yourself less time. Because if you give yourself 5 hours, you're probably not going to spend all 5 hours doing it. You probably lose a bit of concentration and productivity, maybe 1 or 2 hours in. But if you set 1 hour to 1 hour and a half, and then move on to the next thing, in a day, you become more productive because you're able to get more overall work done. And then 1.5 times 5 is 7.5 hours over 5 things. You eventually get 5 things done and you get to spend 7 to 10 hours on each item versus just doing one thing on one day. And because there are unmade decisions and things you haven't done, that stress starts to add up in your mind because you spent all day working on one thing. And at the end of the day, you're still not finished with that one thing and you have 4 things that you haven't touched at all. And so your productivity, your mental capacity is just going to be reduced because you're just stressed and worried about things that haven't been done. So if you at least get some movement in everything, you can finish the day knowing that all the items that you had your eyes on got some movement, and tomorrow you chip away again, So that for me has been an absolute game changer in terms of increasing my productivity. So I hope that's going to provide you value. Happy Monday, guys. Hope you guys crush it. It's Monday. You want to start strong, which is why instead of jumping on this live later, I wanted to make sure I jump on it earlier, get it out of the way. After my team meeting, I can now focus a massive block of work before we head out to the gym. That's it, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Appreciate you guys who are catching this on replay. I want to say thank you for everyone that supported us over the last week. I look forward to making you guys proud and being able to accomplish a lot over the next 1,000 episodes. So I'll catch you guys soon. See you later. Peace.